Like, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
Mm-hmm.
Food. Um, I think we crave happiness because we all don't want to live with regrets. We all don't want to be sad throughout our lives. And when you are on your deathbed, you don't want to look back at everything and be like, huh, I was unhappy that entire time. I think sometimes people let their expectations get in the way of reality. Because we as people have such high expectations for what's supposed to happen and what we want to happen that when reality does hit and it doesn't meet those expectations, we get very pessimistic, we get very negative and down on ourselves. When in reality, that's just what happens, you know? Life isn't always going to be this picture perfect scheme. Where it gets thrown off is that once our reality isn't our expectations of how a situation is supposed to go, the balance is thrown off in the sense that we feel like like the situation didn't pan out the exact way that we wanted to. But the way to be happy with that is just to accept reality as it is and to say, hey, you know, although my expectations are shot down and although my goals or something that didn't happen the way that I wanted to happen didn't happen, that's okay, because every experience that you take, you can learn from it. A time when I felt like shit was probably earlier this year, where I went through kind of an eating disorder phase. I was very bulimic for about 3 months. And the reason why is because I had this expectation where I was going to be skinny. You know, I was going to be like one of the skinny, pretty girls, you know, that would like strut, you know, down the hallway and everyone look at. But essentially, like, after, you know, months of purging and stuff, I wasn't necessarily losing weight as much as I was just finding it a necessity. And I did feel like shit, you know, afterwards, like, it makes you feel like complete shit, you know, and to me, body image has always been a big thing in my life. But the way that I kind of overcame that and became happier with myself is I thought, you know, the reality of the situation is my body is the way that it is. It can get better and I can improve, and I believe in constant improvement, but I can never expect myself to change the way I am completely. I can never expect myself to become something that I'm just not, no matter what means I take to do that. And once I accepted that reality, and once I took a good hard look at myself, and I felt like the person that I am today, I realized I am beautiful. And it was hard to overcome, you know. I mean, it wasn't like a one-step, like, oh, guess I'm not gonna purge today type of thing, but I felt like my pessimism outweighed the happiness. I felt that nothing was gonna get better. You know, I equated myself to the way my body was, to the way that I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just felt like shit. Overall, you know, I would sometimes not be able to wear certain clothes that I wanted to wear, or be able to be as confident as I wanted to be. You know, even putting on the best of outfits or anything, I would still feel disgustingly ugly. And I felt everybody else thought that too. You know, I felt that everyone else was thinking the same thing I was thinking, that, you know, she's ugly, she's disgusting, she's not as pretty as all these other people. And I was extremely pessimistic throughout the entire time, because to be pessimistic means that the outcome of whatever situation you're going through is going to be a negative one. That's what you believe. And I think that back then I thought that the only outcome was going to be a bad one. But then now, after I accepted the way everything was, after I balanced out happiness and pessimism by understanding that the reality of the situation was going to be okay and that I was happy with my body, I realized happiness does outweigh pessimism. Because I think you do need both in a kind of certain way with happiness and optimism. You need to be pessimistic in order to have a realistic expectation of what everything is. I feel that if you are too optimistic with life and you do look at life through rose-colored glasses, you're going to be missing some crucial details that are going to just blindside you in the end. But then if you're too pessimistic, you're also going to be missing those fun, happy moments that you've always wanted to live and that everyone's goal is. So I think that you need to kind of have a healthy balance of the two, and how you do that is how you just look at reality in the way that it is. And you accept it. And you learn from it and you grow from it, and that's really how you become happy. And that's how I became happy, in the sense that I took the situation what it was, and I slowly began to accept myself and began to love myself. And it's hard, you know, it's not an easy process. It's not going to take 1 day, 2 days. It's going to take a while, you know, and it's going to take some convincing, and there's going to be hills and valleys during that time, but I can't say be optimistic. I can't say, you know, it'll be fine, you know, everything's going to work out in the end, but I can't also say, you know, everything's shit. The world is shit. Nothing's going to work out, because in the end, you know, things happen. Not for a reason. I'm not one of those people that thinks that things happen for a reason. But I think that things happen. Shit happens, life happens, and the best way to be happy is to just accept it and grow from it. Just go with it. That's like my biggest advice to anyone. Just go with life. Roll with it.